Leaders. Society regularly allows our leaders to control a majority of our resources, often because we ourselves do not have the time or urge to do so. If we didn't give up these resources, then leaders wouldn't exist. It is a fact that many overlook until the leader controls the resources in a way that is contrary to what we want, such as when an army is deployed in an unpopular campaign. The leader's role as a controller of resources develops from a need to be able to pool resources for the good of a community, and then it is supposed that, in general, the leader will use all those goods for the better of the community. Leaders can be judged as good or bad based on how well they distribute those resources. Great leaders use the resources they are given to provide for the people that they control. In Fuenteovejuna, the main leader is Esteban. As a leader that controls the resources of the village, such as grain, poultry, and pigs, he has to sometimes make decisions that are unpopular with the people. Esteban's first unpopular decision is when he gives a great tithe to the commander upon his return to the village victorious. Esteban gives the commander a slew of goods that probably really needed to go to other villagers. It is important for him as a good leader to give this tithe though, because if he does not, he will risk the stability of the village. Esteban sacrifices resources so that the village remains protected. Soon after those events, Esteban says, "I consider it wisest that we should draw no more on the stocks in the public granary. It looks like being a bad harvest. We should reserve what we have, even if it proves an unpopular measure." This is his second unpopular decision, and he knows that it is unpopular, but the people will be hungry now or simply starve later. In order to be a great leader, Esteban has to control his emotions. When his daughter is taken on her wedding night, he cannot take immediate action. Instead of simply striking out against the commander, he composes himself and waits to gather his villagers and discuss what to do, but not without expressing his aching feelings. "My honorable friends, a man whose gray beard is bathed in grief asks you what obsequies are to be said over the corpse of our lost honor. Is there any man among us who still can say that he has not suffered some indignity at the hands of this barbarian Fernando Gomez? Answer me." Can none reply? Then since every one of us feels degraded and dishonored, can we not act together? It is only after he has the complete support of the villagers that he moves them to uprising, ensuring that what he is doing is for the good of the entire village and not just a move based on his emotion. After killing the commander, the village is put into a precarious position because the king and queen of Spain fear that the people of Fuenteovejuna are out of control and that they need to be dealt with swiftly. It is at this point that Esteban must sacrifice greatly to protect the resources of his village, which includes his people. He steps forward as the leader when the king and queen question the villagers and begs the king and queen to protect them. Here he is fulfilling the role as a great leader who distributes the supplies, communicates his plans, and defends his and the villagers' actions. In Shakespeare's The Tempest, Prospero is the leader of a small island. Prospero is an usurped Duke of Milan who failed once as a leader. He explains to his daughter how he gave up his power to his brother so that he could study magic. His people were not opposed to his overthrow because it was evident his brother was controlling the resources and Prospero was failing as leader. Once Prospero escapes to the island, he takes over as leader. The people there become his resources. His control is unpopular in the beginning because his motives are unclear, and he has enslaved Ariel longer than what was agreed. Ultimately, his true motives are good. He states, "The Duke of Mulan and his more braver daughter could control thee. If now 'twere fixed to do it at the first sight, they have changed eyes. Delicate Ariel, I'll set thee free for this." Later he controls his resources, Ferdinand and Miranda, in a manner that they both follow willingly because they realize their benefit and Prospero's honest intention. Prospero knows that the benefit will be for his daughter, who will become a noble when the whole group returns to the mainland without Prospero in the end. At the end of the Tempest, Prospero sacrifices all his power as a magician and watches as the entire troop leaves him. Ariel is freed and his daughter will go as a future queen. Prospero has made a great sacrifice for the better of the people who he was watching over. He has become a good leader at this moment of sacrifice. He did not sacrifice as Duke of Milan, but hopefully he as the old order has taught his daughter, the soon-to-be new order, that a good leader controls their resources with compassion and sacrifice. Like Prospero and Esteban, it is important for today's leaders to control all resources with sacrifice and reason, even when their decision might not be the favorite or if the decision goes against their own beliefs.